Hi, you see me here with my legs up on the stool. This is a really good way to begin if you're having a sore low back. I like to do this every day when I'm able because it really helps my muscles of my low back and my hips relax. And as the muscles relax, all the bones of those areas get to fall into a better place. So best thing to do is to lay in this position for at least 20 minutes. You can focus on really letting your body get heavier down, letting all the muscles go. If you like, while you're doing this, you can do a little bit of motion of the hips because it helps to relax the muscles in that area. So I like to start with the I like to do the 3 axes of rotation. I like to start with the first axis that goes right through the hips. So that's the tail down and the tail up with the breath. So it's inhale, the tail drops down, and exhale, the tail gently curls up as the low back relaxes down. Inhale, expand at the base of the pelvis, let the tail release, and exhale, expand up at the low back where the hip bones settle into the mat. Inhale, expand at the base. Exhale, the base narrows and the top of the pelvis widens into the back. Inhale, open the bottom. Exhale, open the top. One more. Inhale, open the bottom. Exhale, open the top. We're going to rotate through the 3 axes of rotations 3 times. Next axis that we'll do is straight down through the point between the hip bones. So that means one side of the waist will shorten up, and then the other side of the waist will shorten. If you were looking straight down at a record on a turntable, it's like your hips are a record. There's not a breath coordination with this necessarily, so you just want to breathe naturally. Really focus on your body getting to be heavy down onto the mat. And just continually focus your mental attention on the motion of the bones. So you want to really minimize the muscular contribution to this and maximize the bone movement. That'll help to relax the muscles and really get motion in the joints, which is where you want the action to be. And then last one, we're going to have an axis that runs parallel to the spine. So for that one hip bone goes down toward the floor and the other hip bone goes up. And you just rotate side to side. So you can focus on feeling the weight one side down into the mat and then the other side down into the mat. And that, again, will help you really focus the action in the weight of the bones rather than the exertion of the muscles. Nice, easy, normal breath. Nice, heavy, relaxed body. We'll go back to the first one. Inhale, tail down. Exhale, waist down. We keep the motion focused in the bones, so it's not a big motion. If you were to focus more on your muscles, you'd get a lot more action happening, but you just want to keep it light. Let the breath move the bones. So it's small and subtle, but it facilitates relaxation in the hips and low back. And then the second one side of the waist shortens and then the other, alternating back and forth. And imagining that your hips are a record on a turntable and you're just swishing it back, up and down. Okay, and then last one hip goes down into the mat and then the other. Keeping the focus really close into the bones, not doing a lot of muscle effort. And then we go one more time. Inhale, open the base. Exhale, open the waist. Inhale, open the base. Exhale, open the waist. Inhale, open the base. Exhale, open the waist. And last one. Okay, and one side of the waist shortens and then the other. It's a good idea to rotate through these 3 axes of rotation until you feel that you have the same level of relaxation in all 3. Often what happens is one axis of rotation is easier to do and another is harder. So by rotating through all 3, I'm going to switch, I'll keep talking after. So one hip bone goes down to the mat and then the other. So by rotating through all 3, you get an overall relaxation in the area, which helps the one that feels harder to get easier and more accessible because the surrounding muscles are relaxing. So the point is you don't keep banging your head up against the wall of the one that hurts. You rotate through all of them and really focus some attention on the ones that feel good. You kind of go into feeling good and the effect is overall, you have an overall positive effect from doing that. Good. Now, again, I recommend staying in this position for 20 minutes, so probably you want to do a little bit before you do these movements or cycle through them a few times, but I'm just going to keep going for the interest of keeping the video somewhat manageable in time. We're going to bend the right knee in. When it bends in, you really let everything relax underneath it, and then the left knee in. So you can put a lot of attention into letting everything relax because there's a lot of different areas that need to relax for the whole low back and hip and leg complex to relax. So as you bend the knee in, you can think about relaxing the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh, especially at the hip crease. Really let the muscles relax so you can fold very deeply there. And then as that all starts to relax in the front area, the abdominal muscles drop down deeper toward the floor, into the body. And then the hip bones start to widen and drop into the mat. And then finally the low back gets to really just spread and melt into the mat. So there's a lot of layers that you can put your mental attention toward. And as you just focus on all those different layers, the muscle tension lets go. I like to do this before doing a Pilates workout because it helps you set up your body so you don't have those same muscles that are always inhibiting correct movement. They start to let go. So then when you go to do your Pilates, you're more likely to get right into the correct muscles that you want to be working instead of all the inhibiting muscles. And it also just feels good because then your body's more relaxed and you can really kind of savor the stretches and the strengthening of it instead of just layering another degree of tension into your body that already has some tension. So basically you're just taking a few layers of tension out of your body so that when you go to exercise it's more productive. It's not inhibited by tension layers. We'll do one more time each side. Let everything relax. And second side. Then, depending on how stable your surface is that you have your legs on, You can do a little rotation side to side. So you can start kind of small, keeping your feet up on whatever surface it is that you have. Sometimes the surface is a little easier to negotiate than others. And then you can just take your feet off and roll to one side. Let everything relax. The more you can let your shoulders stay down, your head stay heavy, your rib cage be nice and heavy, the more all your muscles around that area, those areas, are going to be relaxed. The more your muscles are relaxed, the more receptive they'll be to actually stretching. Carefully bring your knees toward your body. You can do one at a time and roll to the other side. And then just focus on everything being heavy and relaxed. Heavy head, heavy shoulder and arm, heavy ribs, heavy legs, and all the surrounding muscles let go. And you come back to center. And then I'm going to leave you here with the legs up on the stool. So you can pause now the tape and let your body just stay here as long as you feel necessary to really be relaxed. And then we'll continue on to the next little group of exercises. So along with putting the legs up on a stool and doing some nice gentle motions for the hips and low back, we can also do some concentrated stretches and massage techniques for those areas to further help the muscles relax. It's another good thing to do before doing your Pilates, with the same idea in mind, that the more relaxed your muscles are, the more likely you are to work the Pilates muscles and not just your same old not reinforcing your same old tension patterns. So you want to use your pinky ball and your Dynaband. You could also consider doing these after your workout. That would be fine too. It kind of depends on what feels best to you. So you're going to just put this pinky ball anywhere in your bottom, and you're going to let the leg to the side that you put the ball under relax. And you're just going to gently roll side to side over the ball, kind of leveraging with your other foot, but you're really just focusing on being very heavy and rocking your hips sort of side to side. Now the truth is, you could do this for a really long time, because you can make little tiny adjustments to where the ball is, back in the back of your hip, and find all sorts of little nooks and crannies of muscle tension. So this will be another one where you feel free to pause the video and take as long as you want to give a little massage to your hip muscles. I'll move it around a little bit just to give you an idea. You basically want to keep it below your hip bone and behind the outside part of your thigh bone that sticks, that you can feel at the side of your top of your leg, kind of in that area. But you can go pretty low down and pretty high up within that range, and you'll probably find some muscles that will be will benefit from getting a little bit of manual contact. So nice breathing is good with this, because usually these muscles are pretty tight, and the more you can send a message to your body that the muscles need to relax, the better. And breathing helps with that. So every time you exhale, really let your body be heavy and relaxed. The heavier you let your hip be onto the ball, the more the muscles will relax around the ball, the more the ball can penetrate up into the musculature. And overall, the more beneficial it is. So then I'm just going to move to a pretty low place on my hip. So you might need to change your position a little bit so that you still feel some weight on the ball. But overall, the way that you're going to feel the release is by breathing and relaxing and letting your body be heavier onto the ball. I'm going to switch to the other side. The cool thing about this is as the muscles around your hips relax, it takes pull off your hip bones. And as your hip bones relax, it takes pull off your spine and off your abdomen. And so muscles all through the area will start to let go. You might notice that your stomach starts to gurgle because your digestion is less inhibited. Your low back may start to feel better. If you tend to have sciatica because of tight muscles in the hip region, that will be alleviated because you're relaxing a muscle that's pushing on the nerve. Most of us have tight hips just from doing too much sitting, so getting those muscles to relax a little bit helps your body to self-correct and get the hips in a more functional arrangement of muscles and bones. So this can have a lot of benefits. If you do it regularly, the muscles overall will tend to be more relaxed and then higher functioning. So again, you kind of move the ball around, find little spots of muscle tension. Oftentimes, if you want to get really meticulous about this, like I said, you can spend a fair amount of time really just moving the ball very small increments and finding the different points of contact on the tight muscles. So, you can hit one muscle and then you can sort of go along that muscle and hit all different points along it, and then you can hit different muscles. We have several muscles back in our hips. Some are smaller and deeper, some are larger and more superficial, but most of us have some degree of tension somewhere in those muscles because our hips are often asymmetrical, and so if the hips are asymmetrical, then the muscles are going to be asymmetrical. And most of us, our hips aren't working perfectly because we do spend so much time sitting. Now, another cool thing that you can do with the ball is you can place it under your hip. In this case, you're going to place it pretty much in the center. You're going to take the strap and put it around your foot. You're going to stretch your leg up to the ceiling. Now, give a nice firm pressure on the strap, and once you get the strap in place, make sure that you really feel the ball under your hip. So you're basically kind of pulling the full length of your leg down onto that ball, and then you can make some small little circles, which ends up helping your body get a sense of where the leg is actually articulating. Right? So the motion is in the hip joint, and by having the ball there and having the strap kind of pulling the leg into the hip joint, it helps you feel that part of the body. So you can just do some very small circles just to sense that motion right where the thigh bone articulates with the hip bones. And you can reverse your circles. Okay, and then you can switch sides. I like to just switch sides with the band already stretched because it makes it simpler. And then let's just stretch the leg up first and then put the ball under, and really make sure that you feel a connection between how you're pulling the leg down and where the ball is. So you kind of want to feel that the leg is dropping onto the ball. And you just do a few circles each way and get a real nice sense of your hip joint articulating. direction. Okay, now we're going to switch back to the first side. We're just going to do some stretches. So you're going to bring the leg toward you, bend the knee, stretch it straight, bend, straight. One more time, bend, straight. And you're going to lower and lift. When you do this, really pull on the strap so that you're having a good sense of the hip joint itself articulating. Cross both sides of the band into your left hand. Pull the leg up and across. 1, 2, 3, do 5, 4, and 5. Put the band in your right hand. Bend the left knee up right next to the right knee and put your left hand on it. Separate the legs. Keep your left hand on your left leg for support. If you look up at your legs, they should be equidistant from your center line, and your hips should be centered, like you shouldn't be rolling over to one side. So it means you're really letting your legs hang open from your hip joints, and you're getting a nice stretch on your inner thighs, the longer muscles on the right leg, because the knee is straight, and the shorter muscles on the left leg. Then from there, we're going to remove the strap, put hands on both legs, and you're just going to bring the legs up and let them relax down. And as you do that, really notice how your whole back relaxes into the mat. So the heavier you let everything be, the more relaxed your muscles get, the more beneficial the stretch is. Okay, then put your hands on the outside of your knees, bring them together like you're closing a book. Take hold of the strap again and put it around your left foot. Bring it toward you, bend, straighten. 2, straighten. 3, straighten. Hold it nice and straight. Lower down, lift, up. So you want to focus the motion on your hip joint. Leg is long and light. Band gives the leg some nice sturdy support. Okay, put both sides of the band in your right hand. You're going to bring the leg up across. And then just release the stretch. Up across. Release. Once more. And you're going to put the band in your left hand, bring your right knee next to the left knee, separate the legs. Nice and heavy across the hips, nice and easy. And both hip joints so your legs really hang open from the hips. And your leg muscles get a nice stretch. Legs come back together, release the band, cross the right knee over the left, pull it in to stretch the back of the hips. Sorry, just the back of the right hip in this case. Then cross your knee over the other knee, hug them in. That enough might be a stretch. If you want a little bit more stretch, you grab each ankle, pull your feet up as you pull your knees toward you. Change legs. First, the ankle goes across the knee, pull the legs toward you. Try to keep your ankle straight so that you're really stretching up at the hip and not just putting strain down at your ankle. Then cross the knee over, bring both knees toward you. Then you can increase the stretch by reaching the ankles and pulling the feet up toward you. And then bring both knees into your chest. We're just going to do one more thing. We're going to lie on the side. Bend the top leg up toward you. Grab the shin and bring the knee down toward so it goes in line with the hip. Now in this case, pull your tummy in. The more stretch you get, you're going to get more stretch by activating your bottom and the back of your thigh. So you keep a firm grasp with your hand, but then activate the muscles in your bottom and the back of your thigh to stretch the leg further behind you. As you do that, pull your tummy in. You'll end up stretching not only the front of your thigh, but also the front of your hip, and you're doing it in a really supported way, rather than just putting strain into your knee. And then bring that leg toward you, give it a little hug, and then you can just change to the other side. I'm going to show you this direction just so you have an idea of it. So you bend your knee up, hold onto your ankle, stretch your knee down so it's in line with your hip. You actively press back with your buns and the back of your thigh. Pull your tummy in with all your might, so you're not just arching your back. You don't really have strain on your knee because of the way you're supporting the muscles, and you're trying to keep your knee in line with your hip. So it's not just going up to the ceiling or down to the floor. It's right in line, and it's supported by the muscles of the tummy, the buns, and the back of the legs. And bring that leg in for a rest. And then you go back on your back. Give your legs a hug.